Mira. Constitutional advisor, ना ये constitutional advisor इस्तेमाल भी actually when I we are talking about the constitution in the initial phase it has actually when we are going about the date it is actually in 1949 we have actually we have 395 articles and 22 parts and with 8 schedules and right now in the current era we have actually 470 articles divided within the frame of 25 words and there are 12 schedules right now in the constitution. There is actually union article first to 4 it is actually related to the union and the territories. Article 5 to 11 is that is actually related to the citizenship, and the third one part 1 of the third is fundamental rights that is actually starting from the article 12 and up to 35, and there is almost one other must say part that is part 4 that is DBSP 36 article 2 51 and fundamental duties 51A. There is no this is not belong to it is actually included in the DSPS. And there is one more the union that is started from the 52 article to 151 states 152 to 237 states in the part of the B or the first rule that is actually 38 repeated, and there is also one more part that is the union territories that is belonging to the article 239 to 242. Yes, you will display it. Alright, hello, hello. Somebody is actually texting one second, I will check. Mhm. Study time is actually study. The thing is that it's not working properly. चल सकता है आराम से. Panchayat is there, cooperative society is there, total and tribal area is there, relation between union and state is there, finance, property, contract disputes is there, trade, commerce, intercourse is there actually, service under the union and state is there, tribunals are there, elections are there. There are the other articles that are related to the Indian constitution. जुकाम तो नहीं है, आई थिंक इट इज नॉट अ कफ एंड कोल्ड इज देयर बट ठंड है बहुत. इट इज सो मच कोल्ड हियर. नहीं. One second, I will bring water. Drinking water on second. Actually, Indian constitution right now, the constitution would have actually it is understood in a way that it is the lengthiest written constitution. Why it is lengthy? Because there are a number of things. One is the population factor. The second one is that diversity of the population. Third one is the largest. It is the larger area. And fourth one is that vastness and diversity and geographical factor is there. Historical factor is because of that article actually amendment. I must say active that is actually 1935. It is because of that. First and foremost thing for a person to write a to read. Oh, oh, inverter is not doing its proper work. Now it will do work in a reverse way. I don't know. Power is going on now. Single constitution for votes. It is also obviously a cause. Drawn from various sources. Ransack means you have scrutinized the constitution of other. When actually we are talking about the source of constitution, right now we have gone through a lot of the constitutions earlier, and we have ransacked the world constitutions, and after that we got a very much I must say very much scrutinized material in front of us. Like we have brought many much articles, features from the other constitutions. We have borrowed it from the other constitutions, but we don't have taking like a for granted when our constitution makers does not have a borrowing nature like that, and they use it to see the constitution and take the steps or the features from other. They have ransacked, they have scrutinized the constitution, and they have seen what the diversity, what the uh, holisticity of this society is. They have worked according to that, and they have bring such changes from other, I must say, constitutions, and make articles inculcate in our constitution. And from source point of view, we have got federal scheme, officer of governor, judiciary, and there is one more, public service commission and emergency power. These are the provisions we have that we have borrowed from the 1935 amendment. I must say that was actually called as Government of Indian Act. There is one more that UK or British we have taken from that very constitution. We have parliamentary government, rule of law, single citizenship, and second single citizenship is also in the, I must say, so it's a unity type of a feature. Cabinet system is there, prerogative rates like the rates we do have high rates, Manorma Santerio and all that thing, and there is bicam like Luke's Bandar. So from US, we have taken fundamental rights, judicial review, presidential impeachment. How can a president can be impeached? Because it is a term related to the president. That is the first decision of the country. We can't take or use the term removal. We use it to a constitutional term that is impeachment. That is why we call it as a president impeachment, removal of Supreme Court, High Court judges, and Vice President. And there is one more that is Irish Constitution, Irish, sometimes Ireland, DPSPs. These are the. From Canada or Canadian Constitution, we have take advisory jurisdiction of Supreme Court, residuary powers is there, federation with a strong center. That's a nice thing. Yes, sir. Say, we have taken from US, sir. What it is actually, I must say, fundamental duties, idea of social, economic, and political justice and all that thing. That is inculcated in the preamble of the constitution that we have taken actually from the USA, Russia, particularly from Russia. Actually, we say bygone terms from the Russian Revolution. from South Africa. That is the best thing. That is procedure how a constitution can be amended. Election member of the Rajya Sabha and Japanese procedure established पहला बीमार से हमने लिया है सस्पेंशन फंडामेंटल राइट्स ड्यूरिंग इमरजेंसी. The best way to understand a polity is you have to mug up every point from Lakshmikant and you have to read it almost 4 to 5 times. I must say 10 times. You should revise it from 10 times before going through a very much hard exam. Now I'll study it. I'll revision it in my own way. I don't know, a cough and cold, but the thing is that I feel very bit offended. It's cold here. That's obviously Balawa is here. Ratification किया है. It was actually third point from our constitution. That is the silent feature of our constitution. Is that it is blend of rigidity and flexibility. There are certain articles that can be that can be amended. I'm so sorry to say break term. I use term. I have to use term like amend. Once we are using the term, I must say we are amending any article. We need sometimes we need a simple majority, and sometimes we need a special majority, and sometimes when there is a matter of a state as well, we have to get a ratification of 50% from the states. These are the three things by which we can say that our constitution is a blend. It is a mixture of rigidity and flexibility. Certain things, certain articles we can amend in a very simple manner, like simple majority. We can use simple majority. But there are certain articles that we can't change. We have to change them by amending, by getting special majority with ratification, 50% ratification from the states. And this is actually the rigidity. And there are certain basic structures. I think if I am recalling it right now, it is in the Keshman Anand a case where Supreme Court has given us that um for amending, we can't change the basic structure by doing amendments or any other things. There were few cases earlier. Gupta case was there related to the permeable, whether it is a part or not. But the right thing right now, what I am telling you is that what I am narrating to myself, that it is actually a revision type of work right now I am doing. It is actually Keshvi Anand case where the Indian constitution have given us a narration and interpretation. If you wanted to change constitution, you do, but you can't change the basic structure. They have given us very much line by line features are the points where but where we can't make a change. ठीक, I must say. And the fourth point, I must say, right now is a feature of our constitution that there is a federal system is there, but with unitary bias. Most of the times we are dividing the power between center, state, and state. But every time we have a bow down shape towards the union. Yes. And then state does not have the right to secede. It's not a federation at all. It is actually union of states. There are few features like in the federal, we do have two governments. We have division of power. We have written constitution. We have supremacy of constitution. We have rigidity of constitution. We have independent judiciary and bicameral. These are things that are inculcated in our constitution to give a shape of federalism. Yes, that is the best part of our constitution, that we do have independent judiciary. Oh, oh, time is running away. In unitary, we do have strong center. We have single constitution. We have single citizenship. We have actually flexibility of constitution is there. Integrated judiciary is there. There's appointment of state government by the center. All services, Indian service and emergency powers are taken up by the union. नहीं कुछ यार, ये लग रहा है मुझे जुकाम जैसे फीलिंग आ रही है. I feel cold and cough feeling, but I don't have it. There's a famous sir. It is a actually political philosopher. I must say, I have gone through his writing. Sir Ivor. It is actually there are few people which have got the title like Sir, and Ivor Jaining is one of among them. He has given a quote interpretation about the Indian Constitution that it is a federation with centralizing tendency. That means it is going actually. And there is one more political philosopher who have given another interpretation that it is a bargaining federalism. And Casey Very also have he has quoted it like it is a quasi federalism, halfly. And one more feature of the constitution is that it is a parliamentary forum. That means sometimes we call it a Western minister model. And there is a difference between actually when we are going through the constitution as well as the British constitution and Indian constitution. Here earlier citizens are electing the legislature, and legislature is going to select executive and yes, obviously, whether it is a legislative assembly or it is a state legislative assembly, they are selecting the executive like PM or CM. Citizen actually यहाँ पर क्या करता है, what is the work of the citizen in the US में, what they are doing, it is actually electing on one side they are actually electing the legislative, on the other side they are actually electing the executive. Obvious. This is actually presidential chip. They have actually separate British, sorry, I must say US have a separate system of executive and legislature. Here is actually responsibility. In Indian parliamentary form of government, they are responsible. Actually, every time legislature executive is responsible towards legislature. I must say, if more precisely, we can say it is actually responsible to the Lok Sabha as well. And once we are going through the features, and there is also a subtitle that features of parliamentary government. In the subtitle of features of parliamentary government, there is we have actually presence of nominal as well as real executive. Once you have gone through the constitution, we have de facto and de jure. Like a normal nominal head, we have president, and real executive, we have PM. We have majority party rule. Whosoever the winners elections, he is coming up with his rule. There is actually collective responsibility of executive legislature. They are actually responsible to each other. There is one more thing that membership of the minister in the legislature, leadership of the prime minister is there. Dissolution किस चीज़ की होती है, dissolution of Lok Sabha is there. पर ये यहाँ कैसी विलेज है. No, actually no. Mhm. There's a famous quotation about the British Constitution that Constitution of British is it is going to make change in everything. It can't change a man to female or female to male. Rest he can do anything. That is a quote related to it. I have to narrate it. Almost I have repeat this very thing that Actually, Kisi Vere in the book Polity has given us the interpretation that it is a quasi federal. In a constitution, when we are talking about the federal feature, it is actually quasi federal. But it is said by K.C. Vere. Not actually the case. Is this from that very thing? Yes. And once we are talking about the bargaining federalism, that actually I was wrong earlier. It was actually given by the Morse Jones and cooperative federalism by Gravenel Austin and a federation with a centralizing tendency. That is actually from Ivorjani. Sir Ivorjani. I also used to call him Sir because I have gone through his literature as well as the writings about polity. He's super. He's supreme. His own nature. I should write. I should. It's a good thing. Yes, there is a synthesis of parliamentary sovereignty and judicial supremacy is there in Indian constitution because sovereignty comes that it is actually Indian constitution that can change anything. And second thing is that the judicial supremacy. Every time we have independent, whatever the decisions that are taken from the judiciary, that is supreme in Indian constitution because if anything like any law will be passed and that will be against anything like fundamental right or anything, the judiciary can make void of that. I must say that they can reject the thing as well. Or see federal famous. I must say here I should write famous interpretations. Mm-hmm. Quasi federal. There's one more thing bargaining. Bargaining. Bargaining federalism. And there is also one more term that is cooperative federalism. Cooperative federalism. There is also federation with centralizing centralizing tendency. Mm. Quasi federalism is actually given by K.C. Vere. Morris, Morris Jones, corporate Gravenel Austin, Gravenel Austin, and one more is that it is actually evolutioning, evolutioning. But this book now they have given the title like Sir and all. I'll make a simple name like the others. Done. What is actually right now? Provision of judicial review is there. There's a big difference between due process of law and what is it? What is it? It is actually procedure established. Procedure is actually the peer process of making any law, and due process of law means is the law applying in a very much in the same way as it is in the same procedure. I must say that is actually that is actually narrated in the Constitution of India. There should not be done any injustice once, and it should not hurt or it should not I must say disturb the fundamental duties or any right of any citizen. That is actually due process law. You have to see the fair, just reasonable condition of the law, whether it is applying in a very fair manner or not. First, it is independent. We have another feature like integrated and independent judiciary. And why it is integrated? Because Supreme Court is the head. It is the apex body of the, I must say, justice, and every court is related to that. And like I must say, in hierarchy, like it is earlier is high court. After that is lower court, high court, and the apex body is that is it is integrated. Integrated. And there is one more thing that independent. There's a famous question that is repeating after every exam that which is the guarantor, uh, guarantor of the fundamental rights. Actually, when we are talking about a guarantor of fundamental rights, it is Supreme Court. Guardian of Indian Constitution, that is also Supreme Court. That is highest court of appeal, that is also Supreme Court. Then our courts, district courts are there, civil courts are there, lower courts are there. In USA, there is a difference. Why there is difference? There is they have federal laws, they can be enforced by the federal judiciary. There are state laws, they can be enforced by state law. One more thing is that in our constitution there is a fundamental rights. You have gone through the 14 to I must say Article 14 to 32. Once you have to limit the tyranny of executive or arbitrary laws of the constitution, you have to make these things, these fundamental rights, very much. They are not absolute in nature, I must say. Fundamentals are not absolute in nature. They are reasonable restrictions, logical. These are not actually absolute. They are actually reasonable restrictions are there, but they use it to limit the arbitrary laws. It's actually there. Earlier there were seven, and right now we have six fundamental rights. Earlier the right to property that was actually later got rejected. I must say that was deleted from our the mainstream fundamental rights under Article 44, 1978, and it was made a legal right under Article 300A, Part almost 10, 1 is actually I must say Part 12. DPSPs, these are the favorite spot of the Dr. Ambedkar, B.R. Ambedkar, the father of the nation. What is all about? I think I have made. No one, you have to think it is actually concept related to the welfare state. And there is one more point related to the DSPs that they are not just shapable by the nature of the constitution. Three broad categories are there. There is socialist, there is Gandhian, there is liberal. whenever you have to make any formulating, when you are making or you are formulating any law or you are making any scheme, you should have uh, you should have DPSPs in your mind. What they actually give us, promote the idea of the social and economic democracy. Once you are talking about the political democracy, that is fundamental duty, sorry, fundamental rights, and once you are seeing the vision of the social and economic democracy, that is we can see in the DPSP. Yes. The categories are there: socialist, Gandhian, and liberal. Once socialist is actually welfare upstream. The Gandhi was actually focusing upon the cottage industry as well as Panchayati Raj. Fundamental duties. It was actually 47. It is actually called a mini constitution. In that very constitution, it was added 1976 on the recommendation of Sovereign Singh Committee. These are also non-justiciable in the nature. That is actually the thing. And in the 86th Constitutional Amendment Act 9 Act of 2002, they have added one more duty. Fundamental duty. What was that? Uh, it is actually related to that very education, I must say. Is it education? ये यहाँ तो लिखा ही नहीं है, बुक ही नहीं लिखा है. 6 state. India is a secular state. 29 तो लिखा नहीं है आपने, 30 तो लिखा नहीं है आपने. We don't uphold any particular religion. We don't have any official religion of Indian state. And there is a big difference between Western secularism and Indian federal secular state or Indian secularism. Universal franchise is one more feature. It's actually 12th feature. It was actually sixth first Stephen or sixth first constitutional amendment in 1988. Voting age was actually reduced from 21 years to 18. Simple. Was it actually on behalf of JP movement student protest? So when students got right while having protest, that is so called as JP movement. Universal means for everyone, adult means 18 plus, and a franchise means everybody can be part of the voting right. There is no discrimination. Three-tier system. Oh, 16 पे सीधे. Three-tier system is actually there actually 73rd and 74th. 73rd is related to Panchayati Raj and 74 is related to the municipalities. Panchayati Raj is actually scheduled 11 and municipality is actually scheduled 12. That is part 9, it is part 9 A. And Panchayat Raj is actually related to the rural and municipalities are related to urban. And there's one more article, that is Article 40, that is the organization of village panchayat should be done. This is actually a Gandhian principle. There is a famous linkage of event that is actually a village does not have light system, but the rural panchayat assembly that was done, they have made a discussion that we have actually name of this very village that is not suiting the name, we should change. After that they have made the name change. I don't actually recall it right. What was the name of that very village? It was later changed into Prakash Nagar. Light was not there. Light facility was also absent there. But they have made it change in the panchayat system. Actually, in Supreme Court, the biggest discussing place in the state, rural area villages. Right. Independent bodies have, we do have. Like election commission is here, controller general is there. There is union public services and state publications are there. CIC, CVC. Lokpal is there. Lok, these are the pillars of the nation. इलेक्शन कमीशन अगर फेयर चार से ना इलेक्शन करे तो खराब ही होगी. ऑडिटर अगर ऑडिट अच्छे से नहीं होगा तो फिर भी बेड़ा गर्क. यूनियन पब्लिक सर्विस अगर अच्छे से ना सिलेक्शन जो प्रोसीजर है जिसमें बहुत सारे क्वेश्चन राइट नाउ there are a number of questions that was raised against the union public commission. I think it was actually related to that very case. The vice president, is it president or vice president? Birla, Om Birla, uh, his daughter got selection in the UPSC. That was actually was questions were raised, but that was not actually, it was not a right thing. But I must say that it should be Union Public Service Commission. It is an independent body. It has given the right, and it has also given the right responsibility to choose the best out of candidate, best candidates to get these public facilities or public dealings in a very much fair way to get executed. This is actually the responsibility also. Yes, obviously. India have only one single citizenship. Government of India. US में दो citizenships and there are two citizenship. One is of a state and second one is of the whole country. Emergency provision is there. Three emergencies are there: national, state, or financial emergency. Article 352 related to national emergency, Article 365 related to the R 356 related to the state emergency or present rule, and the final emergency that is 360. नेशनल इमरजेंसी तब होती है जब बाहर का करनी होती है. अगर स्टेट अच्छे से वर्क नहीं करेगा तो वहाँ पर स्टेट इमरजेंसी प्रेजेंट रूल तो लग ही जाता है। फाइनेंशियल इमरजेंसी तब लग जाती है क्रंच हो जाएगा फाइनेंशियल क्रेडिट आवर्स। Every day it will not be the emergency day. It was quoted from the Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar. That it will insist you the importance of unity system. Cooperative societies, municipalities, part 90B, done up to this. Bas.